Welcome to Reccast, a video podcast series about all things AI in recruitment, brought to you by Reccast.
All right, hi, and welcome to this episode of Reccast, the podcast series where we explore the use of AI in recruitment, looking at both opportunities and ethical considerations and pitfalls. I'm your host, Jussi Luhtasala, and with me I have my co-host, Mika Tuomo. But today's guest, we have a very interesting visitor with us today. Anssi Pakkanen is the founder and CEO of ValueMatcher. They say on their LinkedIn profile that they revolutionize the hiring process by efficiently connecting organizations with best fit candidates for the job, culture, and situation, while empowering individuals with fair and unbiased assessments, ensuring equal opportunities for all. Long sentence, so I'll let Anssi explain a bit later on what ValueMatcher is about. But to get started, Anssi, welcome, and can you talk a bit about your background? What brought you to recruitment and technology?
Thank you, Jussi. Long story short, I have over almost 20 years on IT background in the sales, in the transformation part. One of the stories that I was a part of was we were doing cloud revolution back in the days when cloud was still kind of new thing and needed to be revolutionized. So that was my kind of where all kicked in about to go to the entrepreneurship and how can it be from my perspective. I have a longer period of times in the corporate positions, but that I think that was kind of the starting point to get actually that what is happening in the startup world and how can you do something new by yourself. That was kind of inspiring me to get started, and that was about 5 years ago. So after that, 2 years ago, I was in the position where I could start nurturing something new. So I started by interviewing almost 70 business leaders and people in the business roles. My first impression was that I want to do something with interim leadership, either to do it by myself or something from my background to scale up that business. And actually, one of the interviews that I was making was to be the co-founder of ValueMatcher, and we started to explore on that. Actually, it turned out that he was doing the doctoral thesis about the fragmentation of the careers. So we started with him and also the mentor who he has on the PhD, the professor in the UK for psychologists and data science. Kind of three of us nurturing around, throwing ideas. How we could change the landscape in the hiring and what is happening there in the field, and that kind of it was very easy to get involved in that, and now we are in that road.
But just going a bit back to those interviews that you did, what was like the original purpose of that? Were you like trying to find? So you kind of had a passion to solve problems, and you were like trying to find the problems, or what was the thought process behind starting those interviews?
Yeah, actually, the interviews. I'm a salesperson by heart, so of course I was finding to be the customers and also finding the problems to be solved. And recruiting as such is just 100 years doing the same things more or less. The process are the same. So finding that from my background that actually there might be something in it, even though I'm not coming from the recruitment part. But as always, there's a team effort. So when you get the right persons involved, and when we kind of went through, it took around 6 months, whole nurturing process before even launching the business idea. And kind of getting the ValueMatcher up to speed. So we were already visioning that where we want to be and what will be happening. This was the era where the AI was just getting started. So ChatGPT was just there, and we were kind of throwing back and forth ideas of how to get it done. So that was kind of my first thought was that maybe I have something to do with the interim CXO roles. But then looking at how the friends and colleagues who are going to that road, that doesn't scale that much. So
No, yeah.
So basically only the consulting role was kind of that. Okay, why should I do that if I'm in the scaling the business? That has been my passion and what I've been doing already 10-15 years. So going those ideas forward. So that was kind of the background.
Can you talk a bit about the product itself? So what's
Yeah.
kind of the customer problem that you guys are solving?
Yeah, we started with a very small problem. So there's a big problem in the job market, which is the mismatch on the mismatch problem in the labor market.
Yeah.
Meaning that the job seekers and the recruiters doesn't find each other.
Yeah.
So how can you? Well, this is nothing new, but it is a big enough problem. We quantified that it's around $7 trillion. Also, technology-wise, a lot of new roles going that are not existing yet. So all these, they kind of both academically and then business-wise, it was interesting topics to get involved. So that's kind of where we wanted to.
Yeah, that's kind of the big problem. Yeah,
yes. So and then when going to bits and pieces, that how do we do that?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things that has been happening, but in the nutshell, we are doing the multimodal research-based model, which means that we are developing that to help the recruiters assess the candidates through possibilities for the open positions. That was kind of where we were going through, and we ended up doing 3 products. Said I'm a sales guy. I need to have products in place before we can go to the market. So we did the candidate profiler, job profiler, and then the match engine there. And there's a lot of things then happening inside those products.
Interesting. So how does for example, the job profiler, how does that kind of differ from a kind of traditional job description?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we see that the whole job seeking process is full of narratives.
Yeah.
It's made of stories. So one story is, as you said, it's a job description. It is a story about the company that they want to tell out loud in the public. It may or may not be true, but you never know.
That's how they write it.
That's how they write it.
Exactly.
It is a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And the other fairy tale is then in the candidate side. But if you just concentrate on why there are the bias coming from the job profiler side or in the job description.
Yeah.
It is because actually it is not the headhunters or the recruiters who are there to challenge that is this right or wrong? Is there any facts in it? Or is it just a storyline?
Yeah. Is this story that you tell about this role, how accurate is that? How well does that reflect reality?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So well, you can say that if that is based on the wrong ideas about the culture that somebody wants to be involved, but it's not reflecting the reality. Well, might be that you are not doing the best possible fit for the job.
Yeah.
If you're putting that out loud. So this was kind of the starting point in the job seeking process. How do we do help the recruiters to do the fact-based recruitment so that it starts with the facts. We are human beings, so we need those stories.
Yeah.
But to start with the facts, that was the kind of the core in the job profiler tool. Same applies to the candidate. And if we go there next.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
So the candidate profiler, there is always the story about me as a job seeker. What is the CV? What is the cover letter? Well, you can say that it's either right or wrong, but there's a lot of evidence that people, well, either you are directly lying or you're at least sugarcoating what you're telling about yourself. So, and now when putting what has happened during the last 2 years and this is coming from the field as well, that if there is well, one of our customers was having 1,000 candidates, so they were a high growth company, so they were recruiting 1,000 persons. They said that immediately when the ChatGPT came, they needed to hire more HR recruiters just to go through the pile of CVs.
Yeah.
Everybody was all of a sudden they had perfect English. Everything was kind of in the same script, and that's of course the kind of well, you can say it's democratizing the process, but it's giving more tools to the candidate side, which kind of then on the recruiting part you are not used to it. So you need something to either more recruiters or some tools that you can actually adapt to the new situation.
Yeah, we had an event last week in Stockholm about equal hiring, and somebody actually in the crowd mentioned that you get a lot of, well, that was in Sweden, but if you put that into the context of Finland, you get a lot of 8+ applications. Exactly. So pretty good applications, not perfect, but you don't get the crap applications anymore. But the problem is that how do you make the difference between thousands of 8+? Well, we of course offer a video for that, but there are other solutions.
Yeah, and I think that like I think we can all agree the problem has been there already before the AI, because if you are like applying for a job, you Google that how to write a good cover letter.
Yeah,
and there is those tips and tricks that hey, responds to all of those requirements that they have. Okay, they are searching for a dynamic team player. And we're dynamic and I love working in the team and so on. But now when the ChatGPT again, the other AI solutions came, it took the whole personality away from the application. So even though it was problematic before, but now it's like nonsense.
I used 10 years ago, I used a service in India. You paid with a credit card and they polished up your CV to make it look nice. Now it's kind of on scale because at that time there was a human. Exactly. But how do you guys then do? How do you go and dig deeper? Let's say we are hiring something. Mika and I are very familiar with this, hiring salespersons, for example. And somebody says that in their application that they are performing, hitting their quotas, which is a very typical thing that the salesperson says. How do you go deeper into that? So what's kind of your solution?
So our approach there is if you go to the candidate, of course, first of all, you need to know that what kind of a salesperson you are looking after. So is it the sales director or is it the sales?
Is it the hunter or account manager?
Precisely. So even that the kind of that all starts with the job description. That you might be ending up to hire a sales director just in case, but it's more expensive. It doesn't actually make sense if a person is more kind of hunting role to have yet another layer on the directors that you don't need. So everything starts there. But then when you go to the candidate side, you're absolutely right. There is in sales, there's a massive thing that's happening there that what I have done as a salesperson, I have done this and that. And the reality is that you have been lucky to be a part of the team that has been doing that. So basically, a lot of things can be nurtured from the personality. So psychometric tools, you need to have them one way or another in correlation on doing the matches. The problem there is, of course, that it takes time. So how do you actually perform that so that you can have a psychological version of yourself and relate that to the biodata that is publicly available from you. So there's kind of, you can already see there that are you a pathologic liar or are you just a good salesperson? It might be that they are quite
normally they are quite close
to each other, so there's coming a correlation there. But those are interesting parts. So those are the things that you as a recruiter you should know more. And that goes. I can give you another example that we did for example in the data scientist roles. So basically, might be that you are a good data engineer. But as a person, you don't see that actually. If I want to climb up in the ladders, so get the better salary and more interesting projects, might be that you are not qualified to the next stage. You are just lacking some part of it. Sales might be that you are in the hunting role and you are not in the farming. You haven't done that before. So what we are doing there, that in the minimum, ValueMatcher gives you the kind of the approach that this is you as you are. And by the way, you can always kind of see that in this data scientist part. Couple of things that needs to be taken under consideration, then you can kind of guiding you through to the ladder on the next phases, and then you get those matches more accurate. So it works both sides. So the job seekers might be that they are kind of pushing the requirements too high, and also the candidates, they are lowballing. And then comes the cultural facts, everything that you need to kind of measure there. That might be that some in some cultures it's okay to say that yes, I'm 10 in everything.
Exactly.
And then when you go to the interview, that maybe 8 is still on the high side of that.
Legendary the language skill test with the video interview, where we had, like, back in the days there was a video. We got actually a message from a customer that there's something wrong with the audio. It doesn't sync. It's not like in sync with the lips and everything. And we started to look at that, and we came to the solution that there was that one speaking perfect English, but actually someone else was speaking in the room. He was just opening his mouth, and it was like, yeah, I do have a very good English.
Wow.
So, yeah, just
but that is and well, on that, how accurate you can be when you are describing yourself. It is always a story. You want to look better than you
want to present the best version of yourself in that.
And that's what the job seeking is all about.
Of
course. So it's I think that it's fully understandable that you kind of sugarcoat the facts, because you want to. It's important thing. You want the job. You want to give even a bit better view of yourself than what's the reality. But if we think of like the practical side of your product, if we think of, like you've told about the roles that you've been doing with your customers and so on, are the candidates applying through ValueMatcher, or are you analyzing the traditional documents of or how does it go?
ValueMatcher is a product, a platform of products, but we need a place to be. So now go into that, what is our ideal client profile and where we actually are seeing ourselves. So we are just getting released. So we have done our initial work with the test customers. And we have already identified that there's 3 different parts that actually in the recruiting that needs help. That is in the growth business. So growth companies, they lack normally ATS, they lack the HR recruiters, but they heavily need the right candidates to get involved. So they are the ones that actually see great benefit on this. There's a lot of stories there. I can open them up, but then the other part is the headhunters. So executive search companies, but also we see that the sweet spot headhunting companies are the relatively small ones that actually they can have a skeleton to get discussions ongoing with the customers through ValueMatcher, and that is the value itself, is that you can have. You can go through the scientifically approved fact-based hiring, but one example is that when we kind of tested this with the headhunting company, they came back to say that this was brilliant. They saved 20% of their time, but also because of the way that it was structured, they could get the next hiring process already ongoing with the customer, because they saw the same way that, okay, actually what we are having is that we need more team effort in this area, not only the one, because as always they were going to the director role, not to the ones that actually that they needed
to actually do the work.
Yes. So the headhunting was the headhunter. They was very satisfied with that. They said that thank you for providing yet another
sales lead for us. Exactly.
And then the third one is what we see now. It's a hot topic in Finland, the job portals. What is happening? And of course, we are a engine. We need a part to be involved.
Yeah.
So it is a product that goes to, for example, what we have under NDAs, but under discussion in the job portals. If you have hundreds of thousands of applicants, candidates, you can turn them into the next candidates for their customers, but they don't know when it's starting. So you need to have that candidate pool already existing.
Yeah.
So that is kind of the chicken and egg. So where do you get, if we get the million candidates, we would be totally fine. We don't need any psychometric test or anything. The algorithm is doing the work on behalf of that. But job portals, we see that it's very crucial in the next phases when scaling up any business in the recruiting. We are not touching the AI yet, but it will be coming in the next phase.
Yeah.
How do you see the role of the AI in that? Like,
good question.
we were discussing before that what the AI is doing. But
So of course we are using the AI, the LLM tools, both when we are doing our own, for example, for the job description. There is a global database that we use. We have our own matrix that is kind of, we teach through the LLM tools. And the next phase is, of course, going to the machine learning part of it. And let's not go too technical on that, but AI is definitely changing the game in the recruitment. That we can see already now. Not only the LLM tools, but if you look at in the future, that what will be happening, I think we are just scratching the surface currently. So our mission has been that if we want to go to the in the change in the mismatch on the job market, we need to start with the tools that we have. So we started this in the era of LLM. So of course we have the chatbots, everything ready there, just to get the data out and get the more meaningful models to the job seekers and to the recruiters. But next phase will be to putting that all into steroids.
You mentioned the third part of the product is kind of this matching technology.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about how that works? So I kind of get the idea that you have your way of creating the profile of the job. You have your way of creating profile of the candidate, and then probably this is the one that matches them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it.
There we go.
Quite simple. But yeah, it is basically how we want to structure is that there is a lot of scientifically approved evidence about the candidates, about the psychometrics and whatnot. The one is lagging behind is in the job markets. So there's a lot of things happening currently. That how do you actually structure the cultural differences? I was listening to one of your podcasts about that. How do you actually bring the what the companies need on the market side? So all the insights there that is has something to do with the recruitment needs. So all of that is kind of happening there behind. So that's why we want to balance these two.
And I would imagine profiling something like a cultural fit, working culture of a company. For example, we are here at Reccast. We have a certain culture. Before that I was with Finnair. Two totally different cultures of work. How do you put that into a profile? That's then
Good question. I started with the ones that's kind of the low-hanging fruit. If you looked at the growth companies, normally there's a founder, maybe the board of directors. So there's a persons in it who are kind of in charge of the cultural difference. If you want to change something, most likely it will be coming through those persons. So that is kind of how we would like to see it. That there's persons inside who are actively changing something in the culture. So when we are asking questions, we know that of course there might be some part of it, it's true, We can check on your web pages that okay, this is the values on RecRite.
Yeah.
Might be or might not be true.
Yeah.
But then when we put everything together, and we kind of make that comparison there, and then we match that to the global data sets that actually are there, so that we get the job description that is most likely at least near to your cultural fit.
Yeah.
So what we see that there is coming the first surprise is that, okay, are we actually in the growth cycle? We thought that we are already in the mature part. And it will be guiding the discussion more and more. So we are always evaluating the new, and this is also that how we are structuring the ValueMatcher. We are putting a lot of effort on the what science is telling about the next steps. We are not AI driven company.
Yeah.
We are AI ready. So we take what is there already, and we see that the feet on the ground, but the heads up in the clouds, so that we can always go through that. Okay, if this is happening already in the market, then we adapt that to our platform. And that's how we do it.
How transparent is that decision engine that then matches the candidate to the kind of profile that if I as a recruiter would use your tool, would I see that, I'm getting these top 3 candidates? Why are these guys top 3?
Yes.
Can I kind of drill down into the...
Yes, you can go all the way through that, how the matrix has been made. So we are putting everything to numbers. And that is, I forgot to say that, but that's one beauty on the LLM models. You can actually use the language so that you can translate that to the numeric version of it. So every bits and piece, and this is important also in the not only the GDPR, but also when we go to the EU AI Act.
Yeah.
How can we say that and prove that something that what we have made has something, some decision there behind that go to the bits and pieces? We want to be 100% open on that. Every single detail is there.
That's really interesting, because that's what we've been discussing with Mika, because the requirement of the Data Act, and one of the theses for the whole podcast series was that, how can you build tech products that does selection, matching, even hiring, with the fact that you need to be 100% transparent, because most of the LLMs are not. Yeah. But if you guys are building on top of that, then...
Yeah. I was just thinking the discussion we had internally a while ago that at the moment the whole market is lacking kind of courage to challenge the EU AI Act, or let's not challenge the act itself, but everyone is a bit afraid of it. And it's very new, the whole thing. And there is a lot of similarities in that, like in GDPR as well. And if we see what has happened with the GDPR, the actual fines and the cases that has been like law cases, they have been always those like a global big tech companies against European Union or whoever.
Or then you have had to do something really stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of just my opinion that we are lacking the courage at the moment to do something big with the AI.
And I think that also applies to our product development.
Yeah. It is. And that's why we had the discussion, is that it's been in our discussions a lot as well. Of course, it's good to be able to prove things, but still it's better to just develop and do and then see what happens.
Yeah, that's why I think this example of yours is super interesting. It would be interesting to see a demo at some stage or something. Because if you can really drill deep into the kind of, this is the reason why Bob is on top of the list.
Yes.
Because the profile is this and his profile is that, and then this. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually you can kind of course, you can do that anonymously. So there's not even about there.
Yeah, it's candidate A.
It's candidate A, B, and C. But you are touching the right topic there on the kind of what is happening in the EU. I'm not 100% sure that are we kind of regulating the right topics currently, because it seems that there's already kind of things happening in this era about the psychology and the data science part, that it's going faster than the regulations is doing. But because we are EU born, Finnish born company, we are turning that around so that actually whatever happens, we are all fine with that. It's just, it might be that the business ID need to be transferred to US in some part, but if that is the case, then it will be. But we will be going through in Finland significant changes anyways. We have our own problems in our job market. So I think there's a lot of things that just need to be not only in the EU part, but in the politics that needs to be changed.
You mentioned earlier that you are about to launch ValueMatcher. What is the launch schedule? Or
good question. Actually, in 3 weeks we will be launching in Slush. So that is what we are now heavily building on. Well, we have already kind of pre-launched it, so nothing specific there, but we see that this has been an era where at least for the first-time founder, very hard to get the fundings on something that is, well, with you guys it's easy to discuss about this, you know how it works, but to get to the wide audience, that get another HR tech tool. Why on earth are you doing this? Are you insane? This is basically the first impressions that you get. But as said, we are a team of academics and also entrepreneurship-minded people who we have our miles already done before. So the bootstrapping has not been a problem. And we will be launching when we are ready.
You'll need to add the magic word AI to your kind of.
That's it.
And actually, transparent AI. Then that's even better.
That's it.
To get the funding. But it's been a tough 2 years to get funding for any kind of growth companies.
So keeping in mind that you have like 3 products inside the platform, but who will be your like ICP?
Well, the product market fit is going around those 3 customer bases that I just went through. So of course, we are going to the corporate world as well, but with the customers who has already the established ATS and also the HR recruitment team, we need to go and find deeper there in the teams part that, okay, what are the transformation needs that currently is there, because we see that the ATS is kind of, well, like ERP systems, you can use it. But if you kind of think only that all the predictive analytics and everything is going through them, might be, we see that why are you kind of using something that you can actually have decision on your own hands? So the recruiters has already something in as ValueMatcher that you can get the benefits already from the day one. So growth companies, the headhunters, and also the job portals. Yes. So those are the three ones that we have so far identified.
Can I comment quickly on that? Because I would imagine that also the corporates, if you find the companies that are in the process of transforming their workforce in one form or another, you could, if you have an angle with the recruitment teams, to help them to help their recruiting managers and organization to draft better job ads and descriptions. So I think you could coexist with an ATS, depending on which ATS it is, because they have different feature sets. That's how Reccast lives with many corporates. There is an ATS and there's us, and we kind of, either there's an integration or there is not an integration, but we kind of have found quite a good way to coexist. So if you can provide additional value as a tool for creating better job profiles, and thus then, of course, then it goes to the candidates. There might be an opportunity with big enterprises as well.
And there's a lot of things happening in the enterprise. That is actually happening outside the ATSs all the time.
Exactly.
So there are lots of small parts of the process that is done with the more like agile tools or whatever. And then they still need to have the ATS. They might like import the data. In the end to the system, and then it goes.
But then there are tools like Reccast, or we have Pilburiel from Develop Diverse over in the springtime. She has they help to craft a kind of inclusive job ads. So it's about language and how you write things, and you know, these tools, and her best ICP is big companies. Because she's kind of helping them to write better job ads.
This is exactly, and now you're kind of those miles that I have already behind, I know that you need to concentrate on with the resources you have. And of course, I love corporates. I've been working with them 15, 20 years. But I also know that it is kind of the mix on that. If you want to go fast, you most likely you would like to start with somebody who is on the same
clock speed. Yeah, that's true.
And we'll take a quote for marketing from that. Of course, I love corporates.
Of course, I love corporates. Yeah, but it is just or then the other thing in Finland currently, what is happening in the public sector. So there's a lot of things that kind of pushing us that there's a problem in the job market in Finland that needs to be solved. So I think I read it somewhere that, for example, Vantaa is about to be fined some 20-30 million just because of the amount of unemployment that they have. So those are kind of that. Of course, they are interesting.
Yeah.
But we see that we kind of, if we want to concentrate on the match, we need to keep our head up in the cloud.
And you're still launching a new product, so you'll need iterations. So probably don't. Yeah.
And customers will be paying it. So that's always a good start.
We are approaching the end of the discussion, but how does success look to you? And I think you can think of it from personal and also in the company perspective, like if we think of the launch and everything that's upcoming.
It's a good question. Well, of course, it will be a success because there's nobody else who is doing this currently. We see that there's a lot of room on building something that will be in the era of AI will be ready there. So that's why we are putting a lot of effort on the fact-based and scientifically approved methods. How it will be turning out, what is the success there? Of course, time will tell. We have a team that is dedicated to do this, either with the fast road. That, as an example, I would give a short future version on if I can believe on with our friends in Joensuu, the company called Forte AI is doing currently. So they are doing the AI agentic swarms, meaning that they are going through already the next phase on the recruitment, so that everything will be taught by agents.
Right.
So that is fascinating. And if we kind of get up to speed in something that is changing dramatically the whole recruitment field, so that the swarms of AI agents are actually already doing the decisions on behalf of the people. I can clearly see that if there is no fact-based, scientifically approved methods to teach those AI agents, I don't want to live in that kind of a world. To be honest.
Yeah.
So success looks to me like that we are in the edge of doing decisions that has a long impact in the future, and I want to do this right.
Yeah. And yesterday, just in this event, I fully agree with you, because just in this event, breakfast event that we had last week in Stockholm, Phil was showing some data and research that they have done that, LLMs are very good at, if they're trained with the kind of wide variety of information from the web, they're very good at supercharging all the biases that we've input into the content. And this is exactly the same thing, that you kind of, if you don't have the science behind it, if you don't have some thinking behind it, you're just emphasizing the biases that we already have today.
Precisely.
Yeah. But I think that we have covered a lot of ground today. It's been a really good discussion. Thank you, Anssi, for joining us. Thank you, Jussi. And thank you all for listening. And remember to subscribe to Reccast in Spotify or a podcast player of your choice. You can also watch us from YouTube, and we also suggest you to follow us in LinkedIn to see what is actually happening. And good luck with the launch for Anssi and the ValueMatcher team as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.